Okay.
The fear of God, the greatest obstacle that peace must flow across, has not yet gone. The rest are past, but this one still remains to block your path and make the way to light seem dark and fearful, perilous and bleak. You had decided that your brother is your enemy. Sometimes a friend, perhaps, provided that your separate interests made your friendship possible a little while. But not without a gap perceived between you and him, lest he turn again into an enemy. Let him come close to you, and you jumped back. As you approached, did he but instantly withdraw. A cautious friendship, and limited in scope and carefully restricted in amount, became the treaty that you had made with him. Thus you and your brother but shared a qualified entente, in which a clause of separation was a point you both agreed to keep intact. And violating this was thought to be a breach of treaty not to be allowed. I need my space.
What is entente?
A treaty.
Treaty, qualified a treaty.
We're joining, but it's got a qualification. We get to escape. We're qualified. We're not really going to join totally. We're just coming in for a meeting. And then we're going to, we have a clause of separation in our treaty,
And it's, it's those separate interests.
Yeah.
It's like not the joined purpose.
You respect my wants and needs, and I'll respect your wants and needs.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So we can maintain our separate identity. And
There is that spatial thing too. I mean, you're not really allowed to violate somebody else's space.
yeah, that's true.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. That's true. Okay.
The gap between you and your brother is not one of space between two separate bodies. And this but seems to be dividing off your separate minds. It is the symbol of a promise made to meet when you prefer, and separate till you and he elect to meet again. And then your bodies seem to get in touch, and thereby signify a meeting place to join. But always is it possible for you and him to go your separate ways. Conditional upon the right to separate, will you and he agree to meet from time to time and keep apart in intervals of separation, which do protect you from the sacrifice of love. The body saves you, for it gets away from total sacrifice and gives to you the time in which to build again your separate self, which you truly believe diminishes as you and your brother meet.
Truly believe diminishes as you and your brother meet.
Yeah, that's our goal, to serve our special, separate identity that he says is the whole cause of the separation. We've got this idea that this is going to make us happy, that we have an established sense of self, separate and special. And it's just a goal of our mind. It's not like it makes a lot of sense, but it's a goal of our mind that we just serve unconsciously as something I need to have.
I'm a little confused about, the spiritual world and the mind world and the physical world, and sometimes we do need our space. Is that a wrong thing?
Well, in the spiritual identity doesn't need space, but our ego identity feels like it needs space. And as long as we're here, we're gradually healing from our separate identity. So it's not to say you can't have space. It's about what is the purpose of the space. Is it to establish a separate identity, or are you using the space to, let's say, meditate and try to come to some understanding with the Holy Spirit? So it's, again, like everything, purpose is everything. It's not about how you can't have space. It's just what is your mind serving? Is it trying to establish a separate space, separate identity that makes you special and different? Then you will use your relationships and everything, like space even, for that purpose. But remember, he's calling us to do this meditation, which you can't really do except in a certain space by yourself.
Right.
But so it's not about not needing space. It's what's the purpose you're serving. Does that make sense?
Okay.
So what he's saying is there's just this set that he's trying to get us to get weaned from the idea that I'm going to feel better when I feel better about me. And he's trying to get us to say, no, I'm going to feel better when I feel better about us. So I'm serving us instead of this separate. So now I'm going to do things that I wouldn't have done when I was trying to serve my needs and my separate interests. I'm going to do things about what do we need to have happen here, and let the Holy Spirit guide me in what that is, because that's really serving the real me. This is serving the false me. Does that make sense?
Thank you.
And is it my turn? Yeah.
But the ego has a way of putting things together with relationships and marriage and even codependency. And of course, this is a false idea of getting together.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. It'll use everything. Even, yes, that's exactly right.